Hey guys, Jeff Kamke here with Wealth Energetics. In today's video, I want to go through a duplicatable system of going from wherever you're at, checking the boxes that need to be checked, create a solid foundation for your finances, and then be able to build on that towards your goals and dreams and towards financial independence. But we're doing it in a way where we're not putting unnecessary risk involved. We're not doing things that are going to potentially sabotage the process. It's going to be something that is stable, it's predictable, and it's going to cover all the needs and bases that we have. So when we look at traditional finance, a lot of times it's almost an inverted pyramid. The most unstable thing that we're taught to do, which is to invest, is a lot of times for most people, the very bottom thing, the foundational piece they're doing, but it's a very unstable foundation for them to begin with to invest in 401ks and mutual funds and things because it's tied to market performance. And there's a lot of things that get neglected from that mindset of just going right to investing that can make the difference between success or failure in your finances and growing any type of wealth in your life over your lifetime, right? And creating cash flow and creating freedom and having the control over your money that you probably desire. So in this video, we're going to go over something that I call the hierarchy of wealth consciousness. So this isn't just about financial literacy and money mindset. And while those things are absolutely important, to me, it's about taking it to the next level. And it's an internalization. It's a just a deeper landing of information. It's more of a cultivating a way of being around money, not just a bunch of thoughts and principles, but an inner way of being where you're just your natural reflex is abundance and it's wealth. And these are some processes that will help you get there. So I'm gonna just do a share screen here real quick, and we're gonna jump into some of these specific things that I want to talk over today around, money and what we can do with our finances at a deeper level than, what we're taught most of the time to do. So here's what we call the hierarchy of wealth consciousness. And for us, it's really about getting a deeper understanding of what needs to go into a solid financial strategy and being able to duplicate it so that you have a safe, secure, duplicatable process. So at the very bottom here in the dark blue is your cash flow, your living. These are your basic needs, right? This is, the food that you consume. This is your home. This is transportation. This is the things that you do every month. It's the cable bill. It's your trash bill. It's insurances that you're probably paying for. That comes out of your normal monthly budget, right? It's the everyday stuff, right? And I don't really need to touch too much on this. This is an important foundation. And obviously, making sure that this is an efficient foundation is very key. In future videos, we're going to take what we covered here and put it into a specific roadmap. We're going to go into deeper principles and mindset things around all these different aspects so that you know what to do and how to go about them and some specific action steps you can begin taking in the right order so you can follow a recipe for financial success. So the second rung up here on our pyramid is financial safety. So I mentioned insurances already, and we always have the basic insurances because, the law requires it a lot of times, or, if we're renting a house from someone, they require, renter's insurance or something like that. But a lot of times we have gaps in coverage. We have needs that haven't been fully covered by insurance. And insurance is a great way to transfer risk from ourselves to an insurance company for pennies on the dollar. And sometimes it's 10 cents is on the dollar. But it's a more efficient way to go about covering risk. Instead of having to have a pile of money ourselves, we can allow them to do it. And in the worst case scenario, we lose something, something happens, then they're covering it and it doesn't have to come out of our pocket. So it's a more efficient way because the money that we're saving on having to, potentially have enough money in savings to fully buy a car again, we can have that money doing other things and paying a very small percentage to the insurance company. So there's a lot of times that just having our basic financial needs covered when it comes to insurance, whether that's life insurance, whether that's things in our business, liability insurance, there's a lot of gaps that can take place. And so we want to make sure that we have all those things covered and you're set up for worst case scenario because we have a very optimistic mindset when we think, oh, that won't happen to me or whatever. Well, if we are planning for the worst and that does happen to you, that one thing does happen to you, your house burns down or your car gets totaled or there's, God forbid, an unexpected death in the family and there's life insurance there, it's covered, right? So that's a very important piece to have done. And we'll go into future trainings on more specifics on all that stuff. And I'll probably bring on some other experts that I know around the insurance space to go into that deeper. But just know that those are some basic protections you want to have in place to create the second layer of a foundation for wealth. And then also, it's savings, having money put away. It's the emergency fund to make sure that you're not stressing over money, because that can be a huge stressor. I've been there, worried about where the next dollars are going to come from, maybe getting behind on bills and behind on payments, and maybe it affects your credit. Like that does a lot, not only just to your money and to your finances, but it can do a whole lot to your psyche and your energetics, your mood, your just everything can be negatively impacted, right? If we're stressing over that, and that stress can spill over and have adverse effects on our health. It can create maybe weight gain because of the cortisol from the stress that we're having. It could create high blood pressure if we're stressed over it. And then it could, spill over into our relationships. We're fighting over money with our spouse. That can create tension, right? It's just a big, big, big thing that can really derail people's success in all areas of their life. So by putting money away and doing things to get more intentional about saving money and having that emergency fund where we have several months of bills covered, where we don't have to worry about where the next dollars are coming from, does a lot for our energy, for our mindset, for our mood, and just creates another layer of stability to build that solid foundation on. So after that, we go to, let's look at towards building wealth. What are some of the steps to start creating that? Well, it's obviously reducing debt, getting that optimized and under control. There's a lot of strategies there that we'll go into in the future. But just to name a couple off the top of my head, it's the debts that we have. We have high interest rate debt. What can we do to lower that? Maybe we've got a car that's paid off and we could refinance that. And maybe we get a 7 or 8 or 9% interest rate on that loan, and we can wipe out 29% interest credit cards by transferring that balance to a refi on a vehicle. That refi is going to boost your credit score because the type of loan it is. So that's just a strategy, right? You need to talk to somebody that knows all about that. You can have a one-on-one with us, but that's a strategy, right? And then second thing is going from an emergency fund or just basic savings to where it continues to build to where you have an opportunity fund, because we don't want you just preparing for worst case. We want to set you up to prepare for when opportunities come. And those opportunities might be to pull the trigger on a coach for your business, or an opportunity to get a good deal on equipment for your business, depending on what it is, or to be able to pull the trigger on real estate, or you've got a good investment that comes across your table. And hey, I want to put in, $50,000 in this great investment that came across. All right, well, if you've got the money ready to do that, you can take advantage of it. If you don't have the money liquid, or you don't even have the money at all, a lot of opportunities can pass you up. And a lot of times if we're needing to buy equipment or do certain things, it means going in debt and creating a negative snowball away from where we want to go a lot of times with that stuff. So a very important piece of having the opportunity fund. And once we have an opportunity fund, like I mentioned, you can do other investing, invest for cash flow. We want to be able to multiply that cash flow and build towards the first yellow here, the light yellow, which is financial independence. And this is where we have enough money coming in. We've earned enough money from, maybe if some of you are a W-2, you work for someone, or you have self-employment, or maybe a combination of both. And over a period of time, you've done these first three things to where you've got enough extra cash flow month to month, or whatever time frame you're talking. You can put more and more of that money to work. And maybe it's in real estate, maybe it's in investments, alternative investments, could be a variety of things, to where your money is making you additional money. And this is the big shift of going from middle-class money mindset to what I call wealth consciousness, to where we've made a shift in how we're thinking about and using our money. Our money isn't just coming in, sits in our bank account for a few weeks, and then it goes out through bills, but it's our money is generating us additional money, and that continues to grow to where our living and lifestyle is beginning to be covered more and more, and then eventually several times over, to where the money that we're getting passively from real estate cash flow or investment cash flow, whatever it is, pays for all the things on the bottom row: food, shelter, transportation, all your normal monthly expenses. And then it can even cover things like your lifestyle, like vacations, or upgrading certain areas of your life, homes or vehicles, or giving more to charity, or putting more into your business, or whatever it is, right, that you want to have in your lifestyle, whatever your goals and dreams are. Those things are covered and exceeded by passive cash flow. That is a very powerful thing. And even thinking long-term, having things like your child's education paid for, or long-term care as you get older. I've got aging parents. I just lost my dad about a week and about 12 days ago. He passed away, and having long-term care is a thing that comes into play, whether you think about it or not. And so being able to fund those types of things, and it kind of goes hand in hand with insurance protections, but this is kind of at a little more down the track level, right? Thinking longer term. and being able to do that. So, the financial independence could also be called retirement. But we're not a big fan of that word because we're all about when you're in your purpose and doing what you're passionate about, you probably don't want to stop doing that. So really it's more about financial independence where you have money coming in and you choose to do what you want to do every day. And if you wanted to stop, you technically could because you have enough money to cover your bills from passive sources. So whether you want to call that retirement or not, that's up to you. That's just, kind of how we frame it. And then the last piece of the pyramid, the tip of the pyramid, is really thinking beyond ourselves and really looking at the next generation. It's looking at what can the money and our assets, what we've amassed in our lifetime, and not just money, but the wisdom and the knowledge and the experience, how can that be transferred to the next generation? And, specifically though about the money, there's several key things here that you have to do some more advanced tax planning and estate planning and, figuring out if you have a business, what are you going to do with that business? We've got a family member that, a very good business. And as she's getting more up in years and approaching retirement, it's like, okay, what does that business succession planning look like? What are you going to do in worst case scenario? What happens if you pass away? What's going to happen to the business? If you choose to step away and you want to step out, are you going to bring somebody in? What's that process look like? As you talk about, who's going to manage the business if there is somebody that passes away? Do you have the documentation in place? Is there life insurance maybe to buy out the other partner? Do both partners have insurance on each other to buy each other out and buy some time and have some extra money to play with while you're trying to find a suitable replacement, right? These are all things that a lot of times we don't think about to build generational impact and generational wealth. So it's a big topic, right? And I just wanted to break it down in this relatively simple graphic so you can see it and know, okay, I need to focus here first on the bottom. I need to make sure that I'm good on cash flow in my living. Maybe I need to do some weeding out of some things there. Then I need to focus on financial safety and just getting the right protections in place and making sure I've got enough money set aside. And then from there, let's take that to the next level. Let's look at starting to build wealth and create wealth through reducing the debt and putting more money to work for us. And then building towards that financial independence part where we do have a bunch of money coming in from passive sources and it's beginning to cover more and more of our living and lifestyle. And eventually, multiple of that, we've got maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 times our needs coming in from passive sources. And at that point, you are definitely at financial independence. And then it's at that point, you need to be thinking about some bigger things on how to handle taxation and the estate and business succession planning and really think about what's that generational impact going to look like and how is all my assets going to be transferred to the next generation. And those are some big discussions that we can help you navigate through. We've got tools and resources and referral partners and connections with all this stuff that we'll be sharing more and more as we build out this channel here. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or questions about it, please leave it below the video. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please, and click the notification bell so that you're alerted when we do new videos like this in the future. And with that, make it a great day, guys, and we'll talk to you soon in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.